Hi and good morning, it's Jill Humphreys here from jill-humphreys.com. It's day 3 already of my year of change, and I want to talk to you today about the very first thing really of getting your mind ready for any change. We cannot really fire on all cylinders of something brand new if we've got something old still tagging and pulling at us. And it's almost like if you buy a piece of new software for your computer and your computer has a virus on it, it's not going to be very successful. You're going to be waiting there for a long time for this download bar to actually fill up, because it's going to take an awful long time. So we've got to do a little bit of a clear out. And I've got some routines that I stick to on a daily basis, and you've probably heard me talk about them yesterday, and their meditations and their visualization and their intention and my journaling and everything like that. And you probably thought, well, if you're new to this, that is, if you're used to this, that is, and then high five, I salute you. But if you're not, how do you make a start? How do you start to do all this? Where do you start? Because it can be overwhelming when you're starting something brand new, and if you're doing it on your own excuse me, it's even more overwhelming, because you don't really have somebody behind you that says, oh, that wasn't completed today, oh, we still need to carry this out, oh, we haven't perhaps completed that or started this. So that's the biggest reason actually that I'm going to do these daily videos with you, because I feel I would be doing an injustice by not sharing some of the things that I know, but I also want to know some of the things that you know, because I think this universe needs to be made aware of all the knowledge and the information that our world, which is worldwide, people that are watching this, has to give. Everybody has got something that they can bring to the table, don't they? Everybody that we meet, it doesn't matter what walk of life they have, they may have something that you hear in a conversation that changes the way that you think, or think, oh my God, yeah, I never thought of it that way. And that's why we're here, aren't we? To actually connect and be grateful for each other and be grateful for everything that we're going to learn. Because every minute of every day you can learn something new, something brand new. And if you're starting out on your own, or you're starting in business, or you're starting a change of how you want to be, you've got to get more expansive with your thoughts. You cannot stay stuck. Life isn't meant to be a struggle, but it is a struggle if we shut and lock down into that prison of fear, where we think this is all there is. This is not all there is. The world is huge, the world is flat, basically now, because we've got the internet at our fingertips, we've got Google to go into, we've got a mine of information available to us. Now, yes, you've got to be selective of what you listen to. Totally agree with that. But at the end of the day, if your circle of influence is going the same direction as you are, and that is to get more growth, be more contributing to the world, bring more love and more gratitude, then everybody is going to achieve more, and together we can achieve more. So I'm going to start off talking a little bit my mindfulness today, and I will also put some links below this video so you can go and take a sample and a taster of what mindfulness is all about. Earlier on in the year, in May, I happened to stumble upon, although I was looking, but I stumbled upon because the universe actually almost made me trip over it because it was there, a course on mindfulness stress reduction. And I felt this was very much going to be a part of what I do, how I help people, and if it was going to be, it was up to me. So I had to sample it first. I had to be that person that sampled it first. Then I had to get a perception of what actually mindfulness could do for me, but then I had to go in a wider scope and listen to what mindfulness did for other people. So I went on a lot of the video YouTube channel for John Kabat-Zinn, who is the instigator of the mindfulness. And a lot of people think this may be, you have to sit in funny positions and you have to visualize all these things, and this takes a lot of your time in your life, and I don't have time for all this. Well, there is a saying that if you don't have time to meditate, you should be doing an hour a day. And that basically because life just takes us on different directions, doesn't it? I mean, one minute everything can be going fine, and then you can have a piece of news that perhaps is like devastating. And another time is like somebody brings you a crisis, or somebody goes through a crisis, and it's almost like we're not really prepared. But mindfulness actually gets you prepared. And in the way it gets you prepared is it grounds you, it makes you feel more centered, it doesn't take you to the chaos that life takes us to, and it doesn't embody all these anxiousness and emotions and feelings and sensations that come to the body that can actually floor us, paralyze us. And it is all about the control of emotions, because when we can help ourselves, and we have this inbuilt anchor that we can actually go back to, it really makes life a much more enriching experience to have. So I feel that I need to share some of the things that I do on a daily basis with you that will take you to the next phase that you want to go to. And if you are already at that phase, sometimes you actually need to come back and be grounded and be more centered with life, because if we constantly are living in our heads, that means we are never present in the moment. And in this moment, this is where we have control. If we are doing something or listening to something and we're not happy with it, the first thing that we do is perhaps we resonate with it. Perhaps we have had an experience with it. So we go there, we take our whole mind and body experience to this particular event. Now, I'm not saying that's not to be caring or to be compassionate or empathic. What I am saying is that we need to be aware of where our emotions are actually taking us. And sickness in this world is all about fear and emotions and build-up and repressed anger, resentment and rejection. These are big, heavy-weighted things, as are guilt and grief and emotion and anger and hate. They all make a huge wall that if you start trying to go for this wall, this wall is going to literally be there forever. So how can you start to take this wall down? If you have built it up over the years as protection, the trouble is with that protection is it's stopping you receiving the love and gratitude. It's stopping you receiving connection from others. And we need that connection, don't we? We need that feeling of being cared for, through kind words, through connection with others, through the simple action of hug, the simple way of just going up and putting your hand on somebody's shoulder who's kind of feeling this wobble inside. And it may come out in the voice, it is all to do with their body language as well. You can watch their body language. Watch people. Those that are kind of happy or they've received some good news, we're always like heads up, aren't we? We all feel 10 foot tall and our pace is kind of a little bit better. We feel a bit sassy, a bit sexy, a bit, come on world. I'm feeling good, so you can bring me whatever you like. And we're expecting good things to come. Now, when that body language is completely different, there is a pattern. Normally head down. And because of the head down, the throat chakra, the expression, becomes closed, becomes smaller. The chest becomes restricted and a bit tighter. There are no big expansive movements or hands, arms. It's very closed into the body. So the breathing becomes extremely shallow. So you're limiting the body of oxygen as well. Now, the chemical reaction in a body of depression actually starts with an enzyme from the stomach. And then this eventually takes over our system. It can take over our nervous system, it can take over our central nervous system, and so we become constantly on the alert, on awareness. And it's because we feel small. It's because we want to kind of disappear from this. We want to hide from things. We don't want to face these huge tsunami of emotions. We don't feel we're able to do it. We can't express how we feel either. And sometimes expressing what you deeply feel to family and friends can be an actual emotional trauma to them. So seeking outside help from somebody non-judgmental. Nobody is going to judge you if they're a therapist or a professional coach that actually understand the way of emotions and feelings. So I urge you to reach out if that's in a place where you are. Emotional charge, emotional chaos can be like a huge electric surge into the body. And when this surge is fully felt, it can either take you down or it will close you down. Because there's nowhere for this to go. You don't know where to go. The instant thing you want to do is the fight or flight. I want to run. I want to hide. I need to get away from this. Now there are two different ways of fear. The fear is literally opening a zipper in a tent one morning and there's a damn big bear outside. Okay, that is fear. What am I doing now? What am I going to do now? What's best to do now? You're going through your data and you're thinking, did I read somewhere that it's really good to just stand still when the bear is here? Now the other fear is, if I go out of this house today, if I open that door today, and if somebody comes to me with something or somebody asks me something, I'm not going to be able to deal with it. And plus the fact I've got so much stuff going on inside of me, I couldn't cope with anyone else's. So, you know, I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm just going to pretend that I'm not really here for now, because what happens? We end up going to a doctor. The doctor pushes some pills towards us. We start taking them. And we live on autopilot. We've already got this numbness inside, so why would we go for more numbness? Well, it's a coping strategy. It's a way of a distraction from the real pain and the real emotion that's inside. And believe me, this pain and this emotion, half the time, isn't really yours. Think about that for a moment. Whatever experiences that we've actually had in life, they have left us with an imprint on us. We were given feelings, we were given emotions. We weren't born with any of these. And you seriously need to understand that because you weren't born with them, and because they're not solely yours, but they were handed down by people in our peer group, our parents, teachers, everybody around us, they gave us their perceptions, they gave us their patterns and emotions. And eventually, we become like that pattern and emotion because we are in the family. We fit in. We are a part of it. So we have to feel this huge surge. If parents around you are very powerful, or parents around you are controlling, or use silence as a manipulation even. I can remember sitting in my own room with my parents, and if there was a certain program on the television and I even coughed, my father would give me that look. Or if there was too much noise in the room, he would just look. And that look controlled me. But that look also meant that when I went outside, and there were other people perhaps expecting me to be more talkative or more interactive, even in school, I wouldn't do it. And that was because that program was in there that I thought, no, this is wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. I've been taught that I maybe should be seen but not heard. A bit harsh, but that's how it was in some of the days. And I'm sure you've got all experiences yourself. Some of us have got chaotic lives in families. Some of us don't get a chance to have that one-on-one time, perhaps with our parents. So when we go out in life, we may not connect with the new relationships that were coming in a way that we feel that we should. So we swallow what those people give to us. We become who those people want us to be. So I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about all the emotions as well, but that's down the road a little bit. But I want you to share underneath this video the emotions that have kept you held back too. What emotions for you have kept you blocked? Or have you not realised that the emotions that you're actually feeling, you don't have to carry around with you every day? My mentor Tony Robbins always says, for those people that you want to go to for advice on money or feelings or emotions, it's not really your family, unless your family is in a kind of a therapy situation or they have been trained in it. Because your family are going to give you their perceptions of your emotions. And they won't want you to make any waves either in the family. So you kind of have to still tick their boxes. So it may be like, oh, well, pull yourself together. For goodness sake, we don't understand where you're coming from at this moment in time. This isn't like you. Well, your family doesn't want to deal with an awful lot of it because it's another issue, isn't it? It's another problem. So you're better going off to somebody, as Tony always says, love your family, but choose your peers. Choose the people that you actually go to for advice. So today I want to talk about mindfulness. And it's a funny word, isn't it? Because you think mindfulness. What does that actually stand for? It's an actual opposite in a way, because you are emptying your mind. But your mind is actually full of the ways that you can change things, or the way that you perceive things, or think about things, or resonate with things. So in this reactive world that we actually live in, the first thing that we actually do, if we're not present in the moment or in control of our emotions, is have this knee-jerk reaction. We've all been there, haven't we? Somebody says something to you and you're like, you can feel that inside. You can feel that take over your emotional stance, or, and sometimes we can sort of think to ourselves, that hurt. I didn't like that. So mindfulness actually can prepare you for all these things because you are almost like anchored. Now, it doesn't mean to say that people can come up to you and treat you badly or whatever, but it's your perception of how they do this, and it's your permission. That is really most important. Do you give them permission to be like this? Can you actually let it go? And can you actually still be centered? And can you actually still get on with your life because of what's happened? Mindfulness teaches you to be falling awake to the reality that's around you, but it teaches you to be curious and to be kind and to not fear what is actually the transaction, or what are the trigger points that are taking you there. Because when you understand how the body's concept of being in that calm moment means that you are not going to anyone else's story, you are not following this pathway that you're going down, but you haven't even left your chair. I actually call it the analogy of standing in a front room and you're looking outside and there's your parked car. But in your mind you've got in that car, you've gone down the road, you've smashed into something, there's a bus coming, you've smashed into that. You haven't even left the house. Sometimes your mind can be like a car crash. You are going there before you've even got there. So you need to, like those weird and wacky movies where they make you come back, because they rewind the movie and they put you back, a little bit back to the future. That's a great analogy, isn't it? Back to the future. So it's about being aware of your breathing more than anything else. And I'm going to take you through just a little bit of an exercise which you can use. It'll only take you 2 or 3 minutes. And I know this video is a bit long and we're all busy, but there's a lot in here that I want to get across to you. But obviously I'm going to give you more, and if you want more information, I will certainly supply it, and I will send you some links as well. But I'm going to put some links of the taster to mindfulness, and I'm also going to put a link to a sitting meditation. And there also is a body scan meditation, which is 45 minutes, and you can progress to those. But for now, I want you to get the idea of how you can actually change your perception and how you can anchor yourself in a moment that you feel a little bit more in control, and you can stop these anxiety attacks from taking you to a place where you feel completely over the edge and out of control. And being an anxiety sufferer myself, while my mother was so ill, I actually found this so enlightening, and so it was just like somebody put a blanket around me, and every time I did feel fearful, I could actually go back to this space and just have a little bit of time out and seeing it as it is, and seeing what I could help, what I could control, and letting go what I couldn't. And that was vital, because when we've got sick people that we really love, or people around us, our friends, we really want to be there, don't we? We want to help. And what do we feel? We feel helpless. Well, if we're not prepared, and we're not the one that can give solace and comfort to people, how can we do it for ourselves? So we have to learn to take care of us first, and then we can spread this word. So being aware of your breath and your breathing is where it all starts. And you've got the mental chatter that's going on constantly in your mind. But when you focus just on breathing, either you focus on the chest area, or you can focus on the abdomen. You can focus on the breath coming in and out the nostrils. Whichever has the more pull and the more focus that you feel that you have, that area, go into and focus. What we need to do is also being aware of your thoughts, and being aware of the stories and the progression of these thoughts and where they take us, and understanding that our thought is a belief that we keep thinking. And if this belief is so damn strong, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because we go out and we do what we think we should do. And then that takes us to the devastation, or that takes us to the crisis point that we don't want. But our thoughts are taking us to the actions that make the worst scenario happen sometimes. And that's because of your focus. Whatever you're focusing on, you're actually bringing towards you. Because you're making more of it. You're bringing more of it. So you're experiencing it. And it's almost like validation of your worst thought. That can be controlled. So let's do a very quick 2 or 3 minutes of a breathing exercise that you can do to rescue you at any moment that you feel this is too much. Your breathing starts to get fast, your heart starts to race, you kind of get sweaty palms, and you don't feel very well. This can actually help you change that physiology and calm the breathing down. And as soon as you do that, the body has to realign, refocus, and it's almost like you're checking back in with where you are. You're pulling everything that you've put out there, huge emotions, huge expansion. You're pulling it all back into the body. So you're in your chair, you're where you are now. You're here in this present moment. Mindfulness is teaching you, this is the moment we've got. This is the next breath I've got. This is where I can control my emotions and feelings. So take a moment, put your hands, you can do this standing or sitting. It will still have the same effect. If you're feeling a little bit weak, perhaps sitting is good. Make sure your feet are on the floor in your chair. Sit back in your chair and put your hand on the solar plexus. And breathe in through the nose. Expel through the mouth. Do this 3 times, and each time the expulsion needs to get a little bit harder, because you are expelling that emotion out of your body, so you want it out. So you take in the richness of the oxygen of your next breath, of your gifted breath. Each of us will do this in our own time, it's okay. Now you will start to feel that you're coming back into your body. Take another one. Now close your eyes. Feel your feet on the floor and feel your weight in your body. Concentrate on your breath for 2 minutes. Start to check in with where you are in your mind and tell yourself, I am fine. I am present. I am handling these emotions. These emotions do not control me. When you're ready, open your eyes, place your feet on your knees, and take another breath. And what you can actually do is use the word stop. Stop. You can stand back, take in and observe, and then proceed. So you can stop, take in a breath, observe, and then proceed. I'm going to end it there, but I'm going to come back to you tomorrow with some more insights on how you can help make some changes and be successful at them. Thanks for joining me here. I appreciate your time. Please share, please subscribe, and please leave me anything that you find really helps you when perhaps that you go through anxious times. I would love to hear from you, because together everyone achieves more. Thank you. Take care. Bye for now.